Fantastic. Good morning and happy new year to everyone. Um, Excited to get the year started. We have a lot of information to cover. And even though I don't have it as part of our slides, I do want to remind everybody that we have our AGM on February the 3rd, starting at around, we typically start our meeting around 10, but we're going to put memos out to be there between 9 and 9:30 and allow for some opportunities to network. We're going to try to start a little bit earlier because we don't want to keep you at the annual kickoff meeting that we do in January, February, too late. I know that we're going to do it somewhere unique and different than past years. We're actually doing the kickoff this year at Yorkdale Mall, the Cineplex. We've reserved a theater, thinking that that would be a really cool way to start 2026. But that's a little bit later. Today, I guess I want to preamble that because the hour in the market is going to be more so a couple of announcements and also to discuss to some extent, the market update. But we're going to dive deep into the market in February, and then we're going to talk about obviously the upcoming train that we have in January. And I'm not running anything else to the agenda. Point five is just in case there's any other business that anybody wants to ask questions about and discuss with me as we go forward. So, as we begin, I want to start off by saying that obviously 2025 for many of us was a very interesting year. For those of us who've been veterans and around, this is my 37th year that I'm in, going to my 38th. I can't believe it. Yes, I started when I was around 10. Um, the reality is that you remember the early 90s and mid 90s, you remember a real slowdown. Any type of market pause that we've had in the past 25 to 30 years has been really more of a small pause. 2008 was a small pause. 2007, that was an economic stock market and the environment in the U.S. with the teaser rates and rates being triggered a lot higher, causing a big problem in the US. But Canada, because of our policies, became very unscathed during that time. 2017 was the next one that we experienced, and that was more because of policies, government policies that were put in. And then after that, we had 2020, we had the pandemic. Obviously, that was a roller coaster ride. It was a market of starting and stopping over the next couple of years, and this huge run up in real estate where everybody and anybody made money. I remember a comment I heard once from a coach and a keynote speaker. He said that even turkeys can fly in a hurricane. And between 2020 and 2022, when the market was just on fire, I feel like even I was a turkey, okay? And I could even fly in a hurricane. So, but now we've entered a different shift in the marketplace, a pivot, I would say from November of 22 right through to when I became the owner of Condos Plus of June of 23. We started to see quite a quite a gradual, kind of speed up to a slowdown in the marketplace. A lot of us denied it. A lot of us believed it would be a 6 month type of window. But here we are in 2026, remembering how 2023, 2024, and 2025 has been, a complete kind of shift. I am talking a little bit about market right now because it's a segue to what I'm going to announce. I believe when times are good, many of us do not look at our businesses the way we should. I believe we look at our businesses as we're making money, we're doing our thing, and we don't spend the amount of quality time to work on our business and to make sure that, we are prepared for any type of shift. When 2024 and 2025 happened, and especially when, as many of the agents from Remax Ultimate do not know, when there was a complete realignment and requirement to have an entire new admin team, hired because the admin team at Remax Condos Plus either retired or moved on. It left us in a very vulnerable position, but it left us in an environment, in a place where my eyes were really opened up, really, really opened and really analyzed. And for those of you who've known me for quite some time, you know that I have a theory that, you're never be afraid of change, be afraid of not changing. And when it comes to people who've ever done any renovations in their world, They realize that, when you do renovations, in most cases, or in many cases anyway, it's like putting lipstick on a pig. So, in my opinion, sometimes going right to the studs and making sure that you evaluate and see how you can use this time to really build a foundation in a brokerage and one that will provide the environment for our agents to thrive and succeed. So, as the market recovers and a rebound happens, which is, in my humble opinion, one that's going to happen faster than we believe it will. And it's not because I'm wearing rose-colored glasses, it's because I'm looking at the numbers and the metrics. But I'm going to cover that at the kickoff meeting. I'm not going to, give it all away today. But my smile on my face is showing you that I do have some exciting things to share. So with that, I realized that the way we were doing things at Remax Ultimate and Remax Condos Plus and for our incorporated companies has been stuck somewhat in time. Many brokerages are doing it similarly the way we're doing it. We were doing it before, but I realized that brokerages that are new to the marketplace or are evolving and looking at, the industry from fresh eyes are not taking a traditional approach. And we know that that's very true. We have the explosion of AI and technology and so many different things that are coming into our industry that are in other industries. So I decided moving forward for 2026 that we're going to partner with DealTrack. DealTrack is an ecosystem. I have brokerage news here. So DealTrack is an ecosystem. It's something that I believe is going to really, really enhance our agents' business. I believe it's going to grow your business. And for those of you who are using DocuSign, which is over half of our group of companies, I want to share that, don't fret, don't panic. There's a big transition plan in place that's going to take over 2.5 months to make it work for you. And we're going to go through all that today. And there's going to be memos being sent out every 2 to 3 days with updates on when you'll have access and how it works. So first and foremost, I want to play a short video, and I'm going to pause this video at certain times by design because I want to show you why Remax Ultimate and its group of companies is partnering with DealTrack. So here we go. So you do a transaction and you enter your transaction to DealTrack. The agent that you did the deal with, so DealTrack sends it and says, "Congratulations, you've been invited to the room on the transaction." So right away, you're inviting the cooperating agent to the room as well. So let's move forward. Payments. So what I wanted to show you is just the beginning part of what DealTrack does. When you enter a transaction, it automatically creates, it congratulates the cooperating agent you did the deal with. It invites him to the room. When you enter your deal, AI scans your offer. It completes your trade record sheet or your deal sheet. It enters the information that you have on the offer, for example, the lawyers, the buyers, the sellers, everything is added to that. It creates a link for a deposit. That link is sent to the cooperating agent that in turn forwards it to the buyer. The buyer, as you saw in the payment hub, chooses the bank they work with. They click on the link, and the money is received instantly, not by wire transfer, but bill payee. This money can no longer be pulled back. It actually remains in our trust account. And here's the power of what it does. It goes one step further and creates a receipt, for yourself and a receipt for the cooperating agent. It's all works with compliance. It's very powerful that way. Um, it helps you with it invites the lawyer as well that you choose to click on a link to download all the information. And it provides a smoother experience, for the consumer, for the cooperating agent, and for you as the agent. You have full view of everything that's going on within the ecosystem of DealTrack. So DocuSign, for those of us who have been using DocuSign through Remax Condos Plus and the incorporated companies, I want to say that DocuSign is an amazing program. It's a great filing storage component, but it's not an ecosystem. It's not built for real estate. It's built to store your files, and it also has an amazing signing application to it. Uh, DealTrack has a signing app as well, but we're not forcing you to use the signing app. You'll be receiving notifications from there. So we have renewed DealTrack because that's the only way that the agents who use, DocuSign, because that's the only way that you'll be able to have access to your files. It is your online storage for your past, transactions. So what we're going to do is the reason why I've chosen it is because it's going to impress your clients. Clients are not going to just remember you, but they're going to recommend you because of it. It has a secure deposit tracking system, and FinTrack forms are filled automatically. As I said before, trade record sheets are also populated with the optical OCR means optical something or another reading tool. So it actually goes through and grabs everything. All you have to do is review it and accept it. Um, it's less admin work for everybody, and it delivers a level of service that will just simply build your reputation. So I want to share with you what the timelines are and how everything's going to work. We are going to send memos every couple of days to remind you and to assist you with the process. Part of what DealTrack does is it creates what we call tasks for our admin team to service you with. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because if anybody in our deal admin goes on vacation, is not feeling well, for whatever reason cannot come to work, something happens, heaven forbid, you are still receiving the same level of service that you're always going to receive. So we're combining all 9 administrators from the entire 2 companies, and we're no longer keeping them separate. What we're doing is we're combining them, and we're all being a team when it comes to dealing with your transaction from start to finish. So what that means is that we have an A team and an A team, but this A team is also the B team, and this A team is also their B team. So we're supporting each other. You're still able to talk to a deal admin that you're used to, but going forward, you're going to be receiving an email from the department, and the person who worked on that part of the deal will have their name underneath it as a timestamp. It's no different than when you call, 311 and you're speaking to somebody, and you want to know that the whole team is working on it, not just one person. It's very rare that we speak to just one person. But again, we're not like 311 or Toronto Hydro. We are 9 people, the same 9 people. We'll get to know those same 9 people, but it just allows us to be, unified and united. So your listings moving forward, when we do launch everything, this is what we've created so far. We've created 4 emails that we're going to send a memo out for everybody to receive. One email is called listings@remaxultimate.com. When you have any type of paperwork that is reception based, you would send it to listings@remaxultimate.com. When it's a deal and it's a deal admin, it would be deals@remaxultimate.com. When it's closing, when it's talking about payments, other brokers or you getting paid or a mutual release being paid out, the funds being paid out, anything to do with trust funds and payment would be conveyance@remaxultimate.com. Conveyance is the proper word for closings. Just letting you guys know that, right? So we're using conveyance. It is the proper real estate term, and a term that's being used by lawyers, and a term that's being used by other real estate boards and associations across Canada and the US. And that's why we chose to go with conveyance. So starting, Monday, January the 12th, obviously everybody received a memo that we've partnered with DealTrack. Today, we're doing an hour on the market. We're discussing it on a very high level. On Tuesday, January 13th, Deal Track team is in our office, which is today. They're working with our closings team to answer all their questions and help them with the setups when it comes to the tasks that are at hand. And they're assisting with workflows. We are announcing on January the 20th for our agents that have been using DocuSign to enter deals that effective January 20th, there's going to be a blackout zone for entering any transactions through DocuSign. What that means is from January 20th until launch date, which is approximately 30 to 40 days, we are going to be emailing your deals into deals@remaxultimate.com. I know it feels like we're going a step back, but in reality, we're not. We're going to be working as a team cohesively, and you'll be receiving your file requirements through email from deals@remaxultimate.com. You won't be logging in to see your file requirements. You'll be notified of your file requirements. As I said before, there'll be a 1 month blackout as we're doing all the setups with emails and everything else. And I've already said for DocuSign users, I want to share that we are going to be closing the existing deals that are in DocuSign through DocuSign. We're still going to be going into DocuSign to go through the workflows and pulling things out of DocuSign for closings. We're just not entering new deals. On February 3rd, we have our AGM. I'm going to be sending quite a few memos out asking for as many of you to come to the AGM as possible. That's why we picked to have a theater setup because it's a big screen and there's going to be a full hands-on demo of how DealTrack works, and it's the full announcement of DealTrack. On February 4th, after spending the next 2 to 3 weeks of our deal admin working cohesively, entering deals and working through a workflow, at that moment, our deal admins and our conveyance are going to work in DealTrack for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And what's going to happen there is now, as a team, all of our companies are going to start receiving notifications to DealTrack. So it will be a hybrid at that time where you'll be receiving your file requirements and notifications. And then finally, February 23rd to 28th, there's going to be a ton of in-person training at our multiple locations, providing the opportunity for you to sit down with a DealTrack member to be able to learn how it works and how to do your workflows. On March 1st, you'll be able to enter deals in DealTrack and be able to work back to business the way you've been accustomed to, but within a new platform. Now, these dates are not set in stone. And what I mean by that is, we may advance some of these things based on the adoption of our admin team and the workflows. Delaying, I do not believe that's an option. I do not believe that is in any way what we're planning. However, the faster that our deal admin and conveyance team can work to get into the task-based environment and work together, the faster the program will be integrated and implemented, for everybody, and the faster we'll be able to put it out to you as our business partners. Do I have any questions? Not yet?
We have one from Elizabeth in the chat.
Sure.
What is going to happen to our auto sign transaction and documents? Will it merge into DealTrack?
No. So the DocuSign platform and the signing app is being renewed like it has in past years. When you're receiving documents that need to be signed, you'll just simply import them into your current DocuSign app for signing and send it back to deals or conveyance if it's your trade record sheet or what have you. The app and the service also allows you to have full access to all your transactions and files that are in DocuSign. We are going to be, as an office, as an admin team, we are going to be the ones closing out rooms for existing transactions that are there right now.
Excellent. Effie, I've seen your mic on a couple times as the next one. Did you have a question? No? Okay. I don't know. Andre has his hand up, and then we'll go to Andrew's question in the chat. Andre, turn your mic on.
Yep, sorry about that. So I
No.
just showed up a few minutes late, but I wanted to know, does this have any impact on Sky Slope forms or how we're currently using our signing process?
No, not at all. You can use so Deal Track assigned an agreement with the boards and associations, and you'll be able to use your the web forms in the same way, where you'll be able to create an offer, import it, and away you go.
Is there any a way to do this in Deals Track now, or no? We should just use our own signing platforms.
So at this point, DealTrack has a signing app, but we're allowing the agents to use the DealTrack one, the SkySlope one, the Athetha one, or the DocuSign one, right? Whatever what I don't want to do, Andre, and everybody else, listening, is um, the transaction management software and the ecosystem. When you see it, it's going to blow you away. What it does, what Deal Track is an ecosystem. I want to say that again. So imagine you're entering a deal in Deal Track, and you can invite your client into it, your lawyer into it, your home inspector into it, and they can only receive the information that you want them to see. Your client will use DealTrack as a lifelong connection to the transaction that was done with you as our agent. This program allows you the ability to even order a closing gift for your client within DealTrack. You can order a basket, like a closing basket, for example. There are outside affiliates that are listed that you can, sorry, yeah, that are listed that you're able to choose from as well. So this is like your transaction hub is the best way to describe it.
Okay, thank you.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Andrew wanted a little more clarification on the 21st. He didn't for new listings and emailing it in.
Yeah, so for when it comes to submitting any paperwork, Andrew, and everybody actually, effective on January 20th, we'll be sending a memo out way before, several times, reminding everybody that you're going to be emailing your transactions to deals@remaxultimate.com, and your new listings are going to go to listings@remaxultimate.com. Like submission of paperwork of the listing side, right? Is going to go there. And when you do a transaction, it's going to be sent to deals.
Excellent. Now a two-parter. One I can do we still have access to our previous files in DocuSign rooms? The answer I'll save you is yes.
Yes.
And the other part is will the previous ones be imported into DealTrack?
No, so the previous transactions will not be imported into DealTrack at this time. At some point, your membership to DocuSign that everybody's uh, has to maintain for this first year includes full access to your DocuSign past transactions. Um, full thought process here that um, within 1 year of, far before the 1 year anniversary of using DealTrack, there may be a decision made to download all transactions that are in DocuSign and move away from DocuSign. This is an industry, a world, a life that, DocuSign didn't exist, 6, 7 years ago. It was done by fax, right? Now we have DocuSign, AthethaSign, SkySlope, DealTrack. There's so many things that can change in 1, 3, 5, 7 years. So for this first year, for you to have the access and what you're used to, you're going to be uh, renewed for DocuSign, and that provides you full access to your rooms. I've actually negotiated a better price than years past, so it's going to be much better. But you're still free to use. I don't want to intervene or interfere. Sorry, that's better. The better word with what makes you work more efficiently. If you find that the AthethaSign app works better for you, then, God bless, it's fine, right? If you feel that DocuSign works better for you, that's fine. Eventually, if you find that DealTrack signing platform works better for you, then that's fantastic as well. But DealTrack is primarily as part of the ecosystem for your real estate transactions, where DocuSign and some other apps are your signing platform for, real estate and other things as well. Like yesterday, I signed a document that was sent to me. It was sent to me through Authentisign. I signed it. I receive it through SkySlope. I sign it. I receive signing requests from our agents for next one, and I sign it, right? I've never interfered or, wanted people to use what I think it's best. I think that what you're used to is the best. But for a transaction management software, this, I'm going to say it again, I've said it many times, this is truly built for real estate. It's not a filing cabinet. It's an ecosystem. And when you see it, you'll see just how good it is. Lawyers are signing up. Uh, you just to give you a little bit of a tip on this thing. Imagine this: you have your two or three favorite lawyers in DealTrack. If it's not on the offer, you can send all three lawyers to your client. Your client chooses which one, and then it automatically sends a link to the lawyer to download the closing the offer documents, the deal documents. So our deal admin is going to be more focused on providing you with a service of white glove service to tell you what forms are missing to get you to closing, and less, dealing with sending things to lawyers or sending things to other parties, right? Because this program is designed to do it and to provide you the power in your own hands to automate it as well.
Excellent. I said yes to this, but just to confirm, the sub brokerages are using the same email addresses, right?
Correct.
Excellent.
Correct.
And we are all caught up. Oh, wait, sorry, Mary, with one more. Do we use the same
Before
docs?
before you share that question, Nathan, I want to, for our incorporates, I want to share that we've already gone ahead and changed all the letters, if not all of them, most of them. Sorry, I want to, clarify in that, for payments from other brokers, of where things are meant to be sent. I'm going to tell you that in the past, whether you're with Condos Plus or many brokerages that have kind of operated in the same fashion we have in the past too, compared to new models or new startups in the industry. Many times there's a lot of, overlapping of duties that happen in deal admin, and that's when things fall through cracks. So what we're doing now is we're truly defining what closings is doing and what deals are doing. And this way you're able to just, oh, and everything that's being touched is no different than it is in DocuSign. It's all timestamped. And you can't, even if you try to delete something from DealTrack, you can't. It archives it, but you can't delete it. So it's truly a tremendous compliant both for FinTrack and for RICO. It has the compliance, it's part of its DNA built right into it. Now, Mary had a question.
Yeah, the other one was when you're on the cooperating side, is it the same process?
When you're on the cooperating side of a transaction that is done with another brokerage, we don't know what you're using. You would
I
send,
believe that's what she means. Mary, please correct me if I'm wrong.
if you're handing in a transaction to us and you're the cooperating agent from there's a different listing broker, um, there's no, obviously, they don't have the same banking information way of doing it. You'll have to go and do a wire transfer based on what the other broker wants you to do. But you would enter the deal in DealTrack, and DealTrack will scan the offer, populate the cooperating agent and brokerage with their phone numbers and everything else, and start the process that way.
Mary, I can see your mic is on.
Thank you. Tim, the question that I'm thinking of is if the other office, the listing brokerage, is also with DealTrack,
Same process.
and we get invited
Yes.
to participate with that transaction, does admin office members, do they have access to that, or do we enter that transaction as a cooperating brokerage with our deal track?
That's a great question, and I would assume that it would have to be entered. Initially, that's my answer. But I mean, I wrote that down. That's brilliant because I can't believe that's possible right now. I don't see how that would work because who are you inviting? You have to know who to invite, right? And you want to invite deals at Remax Ultimate. So I would say that you would go to your portal and you would enter your transaction, and your ecosystem lives with your relationship with the other agent and not with the brokerage.
Okay, so we would be participating with the other brokerage, but also entering it new to our office.
Yes. Yeah, that's the way I believe it is, but I'm going to have the answer to that by the next communication because it's a really good. If it's not there, it's brilliant to be there. But imagine the experience on your side, Mary and everybody else, where the other company, the other brokerage is with DealTrack, and then you receive a link for the payment and then you forward it to your client, and your client then makes a payee payment on the spot, and you also receive a receipt immediately, not waiting for somebody to confirm. Right now, DealTrack has in the last anniversary has done 19,000 transactions, and without a hitch, it's been working fantastic. So I've done all that research, but I am going to ask how the ecosystem could, if there's two companies with DealTrack, how can that connect? Because that would save you time. Yeah,
Excellent. I think we're all caught up.
we're all caught up. Okay, great. So I don't want us to trip and rush things, and that's why we've we've kind of spread things out the way you see on the screen. The intent is to make sure that the deal admin is fully on board, and we've had Deal Track here at least a dozen times already, talking to our team. On January 2nd, the first day after the holiday, Deal Track, we were all here as an entire team. All the admin, we were downstairs. We had a 2-hour meeting about Deal Track and the vision for 2026, and how this is going to be implemented to make sure there's no tripping and pain points for you. Obviously, there's going to be a learning curve. Obviously, there's going to be some speed bumps, but the speed bumps are not to be with paying access to sellers or buyers or mutual releases or closings. Our goal is that if there are any speed bumps, it's just the communication of learning who to submit to or stuff like that, right? Because that's what we want to, keep away from. We want to keep away from any delays in payouts. So, and I didn't mention this, but moving forward, we also created an email called accounting@remaxultimate.com. So when it comes to bill payments or invoices, now it'll be a team of people working with accounting at Remax Ultimate. And these are all internal people, nobody outside. I want to make that very clear. These are all internal people, but we're just setting things up in a way to really take advantage of a slower time we've had in the marketplace. So as things speed up and get busier, that we're adding value not just to you, but also adding value to your image for your clients. So if you have any questions about DealTrack, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have intimate knowledge of every aspect, aside from the curveball that Mary just shared with me with having the ecosystem. That's a good one. I like it a lot. I want that actually. So, but I want to talk a little bit about the marketplace, and it's really important that we have some information before we have the AGM. It took me a few days extra to send out the market report because it also includes an outlook for 2026. And obviously, we have to go back to 2025 and think about just at this time of year. It was a year ago and a week that our Prime Minister resigned from office or made the announcement of a resignation. We had a lot of commentary, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of dialogue of tariffs coming. We didn't know what type of tariffs were going to come. I was on stage, late January, talking about, the tariffs may not even happen because we've thought of the administration south of the border being a lot of yapping but no action. But in essence, what happened on February 1st, we had wide sweeping tariffs that came into play. And to further complicate things, we had a couple of elections that were called that put everybody on a pause that impacted confidence and created an environment of uncertainty going through the first half of 2025. And I believe that the market has been one of two halves, the first half and the second half. Interest rates started to drop, throughout the year. But even though the rates were dropping, we did not have confidence built enough to really, buoy the market in the way we wanted. And even though there was a lot more activity from July right through to November, comparing year-over-year numbers was not good for our industry, and it actually showed that, the numbers were not really that good. Um, Sincerely, a healthy market, in Ontario, I would say, or in Toronto would be 90,000 sales a year. I think at 90,000 sales based on immigration and population growth, and construction, that would be the right number to provide, a stable market and one that people could be, have the confidence to move in. We've have fallen way short of that. We've been just around 75 and 69 and now 63,000 sales. We haven't had 63,000 sales, folks, since 1999, and we haven't had a downturn in the marketplace like this since 1989-90, the year that I started in this business. So while the market dynamics were very, very different in the mid 90s than they are today, and the policies did not exist, I will share that history does not always, as I always say, does not always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. So we have been in really a 3.5 year downward cycle in the industry and in the real estate business. And arguably, we can say that even though we haven't had a recession in the economy and the stock markets, and primarily many markets have been performing better than anticipated, and we're watching resiliency in consumer spending and stickiness in inflation. We can float around the idea that we have been in a housing recession, especially in the past year and a half. So what that means right now to me is that moving forward in January, February, March, April, May, and June, the new benchmark of sales was already set at a very, very low number in 2025. And my market report and outlook, talks about this. I hope you find it of value. I hope your clients find it of value. I hope you're using it and forwarding it. That's why we write it every single month. I do believe that there's been more and more consumer sentiment improving as we start comparing the sales of the first half of 2025 to the sales of 2026. Do I believe we're in a elastic band rebound? Obviously not. I don't believe so. I do believe that 2026 is going to be a transitional year that's going to take time to work through and get better as we go forward. But I also want to add that it takes one thing, one trigger to have this market either go quiet the way it's been, or quieter, or remain around the same number, or a trigger that will just really start, burning through inventory. And, that could be anything from a free trade agreement in the next couple of months to some media coverage, which is not so troubling when it comes to things in the Middle East, or it comes to Venezuela, or now it comes to Greenland. I mean, it seems like there's always an announcement of some kind that's creating, more impact on confidence. We are not in an interest rate environment problem. We are in a confidence problem. That's where we are. And for those of you who think that we have 1 million mortgages coming up for renewal, and that's going to be a catalyst for a down market moving forward, I'm going to remind you that in 2017, we did this thing called the stress test. And the stress test has a built-in mechanism for people. Now, if they have overspent and if they have added household debt beyond the stress test, yes, that's a variable that we can't really account for until we see what happens. But I will say that, in my humble opinion, the interest rate environment that we're in is a healthy one. The interest rates that we're currently at are good. And I do not see rates going up. As a matter of fact, I believe that rates will most likely stay the way they are. And in my humble opinion, I do believe that based on job numbers and employment numbers that are going to come out in the coming weeks, that we may even see one more quarter point cut. It's a tough monetary policy and environment for the Bank of Canada. They may not want to do it, but based on what may happen in the overall economy with other numbers, I do believe that there is more room for at least one more quarter point. Out of all the economists I've spoken to, I would say that four say that we're staying at this rate for 2026, and one agreed with me. So if I was on a panel, I would say there's two out of six that believe there's going to be one more cut. In the condo market, let's just talk about condos because it's a very, very big part of our overall transactions. When I became the broker owner of Remax Ultimate, I would say that 5% of our market was rentals. That's in 2007. I would say that now over 30% of our market is rentals. And with the merging of Remax Condos Plus, I would say that we are now in an environment as a downtown and midtown broker of over 45 to 48% of our transactions are rentals, and over a third, close to 40% of our deals are also condos. So it gives you an idea of just how this market and this geographical footprint has changed over the last 18 years, and it's due to change even more going forward. We are in the last 12 months of deliveries, 12 to 18 months of deliveries. We have not had enough new construction starts that would add to the supply that's required. And once this is all absorbed, you're looking at a marketplace in late 2026, 2027, where things will be significantly different, in the marketplace. I have a question that's up, a hand that's up, so I'd like to stop right here for really quickly and answer your question, Andre.
Hey Tim, a question regarding when Treb says it's 63,000 sales, does that include rentals as well? And the reason why I'm asking is because you mentioned that in the early days of our careers or your careers, 5% represented rentals in the overall transaction, and now it's 45 to 48%. So
Yeah, no, I mean that these are actual transactions that are being done on the Treb MLS.
so that includes rentals then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the idea of transactions is that they're all there, like they're a transaction, right? But we don't capture our pre-construction and exclusives and everything else, right? That's what we don't capture. So there's at least 25 to 30,000 more sales that are being done outside of the MLS. But again, what I want to share, which is tremendously important to everybody, that I'm going to talk at the kickoff in February, is this. Um, you're looking at pent-up demand over the past 3 years of people sitting on the sidelines. There's still 400,000 people coming into immigration coming in, right? Not all of them in Toronto, obviously, but there's 400,000 people still coming. 400,000 people is a lot of people that is adding to the pent-up demand. And usually with immigration, people want to buy after the first 2 or 3 years of being in our country. So if the healthy number's around 90,000, and we're hovering below 70. We're looking at somewhere between 40 and 50,000. Looking at 30,000 times X amount of years, or 20,000 over X amount of years of also additional pent-up demand. Peter.
Hey Tim, to that point, if you look, I don't have it off the top of my head because I'm in my car, but if you look at the origin of residents when they're looking at PRs, it's predominantly by a huge margin Canada. So they're just converting a lot of it's a lot of NPRs to PRs right now
Yes,
to lower that number. So like those people are accounted for in terms of like a game of musical chairs. It's just, are they going to rent or buy?
correct. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Peter, and I appreciate you to sharing that because permanent residents, the way they're moving them, is they're all accounted for sure. So I do agree with you, and what I want to again remind everybody of my comment is there's a lot of pent-up demand right now in the marketplace, right? So it goes back to my earlier comment, maybe about 10 minutes ago or so, talking about that trigger. What's that trigger going to be that's going to provide confidence? Because again, it's not an interest rate environment um, holdback here. It's can I buy a home or can I move up and commit to a mortgage payment if I'm not confident? That's what we're dealing with, in this present environment. But people buy and sell and move for the same 6 to 8 reasons. They're getting married, they're getting divorced, they're getting a new job, they're being relocated, a growing family, empty nesting. These are the things, the same 6 to 7 to 8 reasons that people are always buying and selling and they can't afford it anymore. I mean, let's just, add that in there based on the environment that we're in and the household debt that we have. So,
Tim,
yeah,
Bob and Andre made a comment that I actually thought so
it was
too.
only sales. It was only sales. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to get back to it and I didn't get back to it. It's only sales, not rentals.
To be honest, I'm going to actually do a quick little thing on
No,
social media about this because everybody loves talking about these numbers last year and promoting how many agents didn't do a deal. And we've seen with the amount of leases that are now being done that, I think it's really easy to have this forgotten segment that does all, we have agents doing 6, 8, 10 leases a month and that accounts to real revenue. So it's easy to discount it, but times have changed.
yeah, so my apology, guys. My brain was working in 1,000 different directions, and it's only sales. It has nothing to do with rentals. And you're absolutely right that you have to add in how many agents are doing 30, 40, and 100 rentals a year, and they're not participating in that graph. I do want to make a comment about the social media posts that I've seen that have come to my attention online of agents posting how many agents did not do a deal. I'm going to say to our team here that it saddens me that that's what's floating around our industry. That's what our clients are actually looking at and reading. That does not do well. That's great clickbait to me. But I don't see the lawyer associations or accountants talking about how many clients they have and how many clients they don't have and how many deals they close and how many deals they didn't close. I don't see, any other industries talking about how many construction projects they have and don't have, and how many, do a renovation, and how many don't do a renovation, and whether you're an electrician, a plumber, a drywaller. I just need us to remind. I just need to remind ourselves that with the fiasco and what's happened in 2025 with iPro going out of business and Rico being all over the news. The last thing we need is like, let me tell you and let me show you just how bad our industry is. And I'm going to say that some of the agents, not from our company, but some of the agents that are out there posting, how many transactions have not been done, I would like to challenge them to see how many they did. They have a lot of time posting how many transactions other agents are doing. But I can tell you, through experience, being a broker owner, seeing certain numbers at times, especially when I was at Treb as a president and seeing numbers at a much more macro and micro level, I could have diving down deep. And some of the people who are the loudest complainers online are the ones who don't do anything at all in our industry, aside from, bitching and complaining. Sorry for venting, but, I take our industry, personally. It's my last name is associated, with this industry. It's reputational based for me. And the last thing I want to do is walk outside and have some guy say, "There's Tim Siriano's the realtor who has agents who don't do any business." It's just complete crock, right? And don't participate in it because quietly all our clients are thinking those negative things about us. It does not do any good to our business. And sorry to rant like this. It's not about anybody on this call or who's listening or watching after. I'm just passionate about it. It's got to stop. It's just disgusting, right? Some people maybe didn't do a deal this last year because they're battling cancer, right? There's something taking care of a loved one at home, right? Decide to stay home while their spouse is working. I mean, there's so many different reasons why some, or it's because the market was really tough, right? Maybe it's that's the reason. But to go out there and say, look how bad our industry is, I don't know, man. That's just, not cool to me, right? We are blessed. Continuing on this, we are wealth builders. We do not sell houses. We are part of the fabric of people's lives where they raise families in their homes, they build memories in their homes. And guess what? To this day, thank God, the government has not taxed our principal residents. It's also probably their RRSP. It's probably the biggest asset they're ever going to have in their life. That's what we should be promoting. That's what we should be doing, is talking about how every transaction that's being done in our industry has a spin-off business of $80,000 to the economy. Did you guys know that? Every single transaction equals $80,000 in spin-off. It means that somebody can put a new carpet, which somebody works in the carpet business. It means a landscaper is going to put new sod. It means a painter is going to paint somebody's house. It means a plumber is going to change somebody's washroom and kitchen. And all those people have homes and families and kids that go to school. We are the stick that stirs the entire economy. And when we go down in sales, everybody feels it. Olivia Chow and the municipal government in Toronto has decided to raise the land transfer tax of luxury homes. It's ass backwards. They're taxing $3 million is no longer a luxury home in Toronto. It's not a luxury home, but it's affecting the move up. It's adding more cost it's adding more cost to the transaction, causing stifling of supply, not hitting the marketplace, penalizing people that they should not be. That's what we should be talking about. We should go out and be advocates in our industry and educate all levels of government. Not talking about, hey, I'm here to talk about, real estate and how important it is, but I don't sell any real estate, or my colleagues don't sell any real estate. We're a kangaroo kind of industry. Like, really? That's what we're going to do? Like, come on. And, quietly, if you don't mind, call those other agents up from other companies and say, man, I don't think this is cool. Right? I just don't think it's cool because you're a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of you. Enough said about that. Sorry, guys. Got to show some leadership here. So anyways, going back to the marketplace, obviously, I have some stats that have shown, average price, year over year, we've seen, certain, increases already in the past month. All regions, we've seen a 19% increase in showings, which is great. Sold and leased, we've seen a 21% year over year. And offers that we track through the platform has gone up by 23%. So we are seeing some good signs there. Obviously, the average days on market before sold or leased has gone up a little bit by 11%. But we have been seeing people over the last, I would say, 4 to 6 months starting to talk about real estate. We just need some of the noise that's out there right now to kind of shift away and calm the waters. And obviously, we have the graph that shows just the dip. And as we go into January, obviously, it was to be expected that we would see the last, couple weeks of December, being the holidays, families focused on maybe family or some personal time to themselves or travel. Obviously, seen a dip in real estate. A lot of us took properties off the market. A lot of sellers took properties off the market or decided to pause. But now, if you're subscribed to notifications through Broker Bay of new listings from our office, you'll see the exponential growth that we've seen in new listings, coming through. And as you can see through the first week of January, we're starting to see that the upswing right now in activity, when it comes to our brokers and to the industry. Lastly, brokerage news once more time. We have an action-packed January. We've kind of pivoted a little bit to not just doing our traditional type of training and coaching. We have something which is happening on January the 20th. It's our Ultimate Coaching Live. I want to kind of circle around that one. Many of you talk about business for sale and what's involved in it. And in the next 12 months, we're going to be coming to our agents, to you, whether it's a business for sale, whether it's repeat and referral business, whether it's geographical farming, whether it's online marketing and different ways of create leads or events. We're going to be featuring our own agents in the Ultimate Coaching Live, people who specialize and really work hard in certain segments. So this way you can learn from the absolute best, which is our own people. So watch for those. And again, I want to remind you that February the 3rd is our AGM, Cineplex, Yorkdale. And what's fun about that is when the meeting is done, you can actually grab a bite or go do some shopping or do a stroll through Yorkdale after you're done, before. Little curveball about the kickoff meeting. We may not be able to stream it because of where we are, but we are going to record it. So the good news is that if we're unable to stream it because of where we are working on getting it streamed. We want to get it streamed. We want to make sure that the internet is stable and we have all the cameras and what we need. But in the worst case scenario, it will be recorded and it will be very quickly distributed to all of you, both through email and in our hub. And
But
before
I'm going to chime in and I'm going to say this is the thing to come to. Okay. And I
yeah,
know, Mary, you're out in Niagara and your camera's on. So there's but this is the one. You're not going to get the same essence in the recording that you're going to get in person. Carrie, who is our keynote speaker for this, is one of the top authorities in AI consulting and coaching for realtors in the world. So, the stuff that you're going to walk away with today, please mark it in your calendars. You will walk away from this a better agent than when you came in. This is unlike anything we've done. It's going to be great.
And I just want to add that, in all your businesses, and it's something I subscribe to in my business, in my life, that I believe creates strength for longevity, is that when times are good, we're supposed to save. And when times are tough, we're supposed to invest. And that's where the true opportunity lies. And I'm saying that because if you do have clients, there's a twofold here. If you have clients who are kind of worried and sitting on the fence within 5% up or down, this is the best window of opportunity in my eyes to look at the market and find an opportunity in the next 6 months or so, right? This is the time. If you're a move-up buyer, same thing. If you're a first-time buyer, 100%. This is the time where you can get into a small condo or home where, before any, overall rebound happens. This is the time. But in your business as realtors, when times are good, you save, and when times are tough, you invest. This is where you eat somebody else's lunch. This is where you take somebody's geographical farm away from them. This is where you build relationships because they're like ostriches. They put their head in the sand and they're waiting for things to pass. This is where you take action and make things happen. And that's how I live my life, my entire life, when it comes to even as a realtor. When times were more challenging, I spent more on farming, bigger postcards. I challenged other realtors to hit my stride and to hit my level of, I basically drove them to broke is what I did, right? And it works. Now, when it comes to the business of real estate, I'm going to tell you that during the great times, I saved like a bee, like I don't know, like I just saved like crazy because I felt that there's no way that this market can be 1.7% interest rates forever. I knew that there's going to come a time where 9 times your income to buy a home does not make sense, right? So here we are in an affordable environment with rates going down and with homes going down. Believe it or not, we're almost the same affordability as we were in 2019 and 20. Like, but the mindset's different. But going back to investing, to me, Carrie and the kickoff in February, I'm sharing with you, everybody, is a big investment. Deal Track is a big investment. Like these are investments that are being made. You go right to the studs, and the same thing should be about your business. Look at your business. How are you going to not ignore the things that we've ignored in years past? Apply them in principle and take advantage of a slower time because
Yeah.
it's like water. It's like water that turns to frost in a crack. When you put water in terms of frost, the crack becomes bigger. And that's who you should be in your business and your marketplace to your clients. You take away the pie from everybody else. Go in and take advantage of this opportunity. This is an opportunity that we haven't had in a long time. Yes, the market is tough. It's hard to wake up and get it done. I know. But the alternative sucks. The alternative is just waiting sucks. So when other people are not doing their thing, this is the time to do it. And it's January the 13th. We got Deal Track that's going to be rolled out, and we have a kickoff meeting February 3rd. And I want to see as many of us as there as possible. And I'm excited for it. And we're here to answer your questions. And I want you guys to have a great day. Any other thing before I let everybody go? And yes, there'll be popcorn at Cineplex. So, have a wonderful day, everybody. I wish you the best. The meeting's now over, and don't hesitate to reach out to me in any way. Have a great day.